Millennials will make a huge difference in sports. My favorite sport, baseball, really has been changed from time to time, about every 20 years, by the emergence of a new generation of players. Baseball is distinctive, and it's actually gone through about 2 different generational cycles of the 4 types of generations that there are. Millennials coming in after Generation X are a much more team-oriented type of ball player. They're much less concerned with their individual achievements and much more likely to be a part of the team. We are going to see, I think, players wanting to stay with the team that brought them up to the major leagues originally.
Well, and we're seeing that in more than just baseball, because in basketball you had the whole LeBron James controversy about wanting to bring the players he wanted to play with him to Miami. But that would be a very natural millennial instinct, to create a team and focus on the team and how I am better as a part of the team, as opposed to, say, the Kobe Bryant era of Gen X players, which was, I'm the star, and when you come to play for me, the world revolves around me.
Right, and who is Mr. Laker? Whose
Right.
team is this? Is it me or is it Shaq?
Right.
And we found Michael Jordan, when LeBron James assembled his team, saying he couldn't have imagined doing that with Larry Bird or Magic Johnson, that they were rivals and they would have to compete with one another for who was the best player. And LeBron would say, no, I'm just as happy being with my buddies as the best team.
An entirely different generational perspective. For baseball fans, actually, the current world has great potential, because the GI generation, the last civic generation like millennials, produced some of the greatest baseball the game has ever seen. The so-called golden age of baseball, right? With the players like Lou Gehrig in that era.
He was the first of them, in very sharp contrast to his teammate Babe Ruth, who was from the previous type of generation, the lost generation, much of a rebel.
So sort of like Gen X.
It's sort of like Gen X is today. But the great team players of the 1930s and 40s, players like Stan Musial and Bob Feller and Ted Williams, and you can't forget Jackie Robinson, the great GI generation player who integrated the sport. And it was so a much different era of baseball, not the dissolution.
But much like what we may now be experiencing.
Seeing with the millennials today.
Gotcha.